Okay, we got a lot of viewer comments saying Christopher did grab Kenya's arm, and that somehow that seems to be getting lost in the discussion.
Well, I think he grabbed her arm to prevent her from charging his wife.
Is that what you were doing?
I got up out of my seat and I walked across the hotel room. Everyone just saw me walk across the room.
What was your intention in walking across the room?
Well, she was across the room shouting at me, saying stuff. I wanted to have a conversation with her face to face, not shouting across the hotel room. I think it's really sad when you have a man put his hands on a woman in front of men and women, and nobody has doing something like that. If it was the other
way around, if it was Candy and someone was charging Candy or aggressively walking to Candy, I would have grabbed them as well.
You would have?
I would have.
It wasn't like an aggressive grab, like, what you doing? He was like, just chill out. Like, what are you doing?
Wait a minute.
The fact is that I was touched. Whether you guys think it was aggressive or not, no man should put his hands on a woman, especially if it's not his woman. So I'm sorry that you guys.
Well, weren't you his woman at one time?
Just have to be consistent.
Let's be clear. Weren't you sleeping with him at one time? Wasn't that the real issue? That's why you were so upset with his wife, because you've been sleeping with him? Ain't that correct? So let's be truthful.
Oh, my.
Vashti1 on BravoTV.com said, Nene's an instigator. She should have never brought up Kenya's conversation about Christopher and Natalie. I believe that Miss Leaks really wanted to set things off.
No, Miss Leaks was hosting a party where the questions were risque. We had fun.
You know, I find it interesting
we had
that
cocktails and we were
saying that
I'm being asked a question. Excuse me, use your proper manners. He's asking me a question. Allow me to answer. I was sitting on the fireplace with a cocktail in my hand, and the fight came out of nowhere.
Did you want to say something?
Nene talks about they were having a good time. They were not having a good time.
We did ask them.
Outside, well, first of all, let me just say
were they having a good time?
It's having a good time. When I walked up, first of all, I was late. Let me explain why I was late. So use your manners and let me speak.
Girl, bye.
She was.
I don't have to let you do anything.
Hosting this party, prancing around, doing whatever she was doing. When I got to the door, I'm getting mic'd outside the hotel door, and I hear Nene screaming to the top of her lungs, saying that, you know, the producers, I know why you guys are trying to make Kenya late. You're trying to make Kenya the star of the show, and I'm the only mother star of the show.
Really?
And you're having her come late.
Oh my
and
God.
This person after she was cursing every producer on the set. Now, everybody here heard it because it was a small room.
Well, ask them, did they hear? Here they are. Ask them. Here they are. Here they are. Ask them.
Candy, is that what happened?
Ask them.
I mean, I didn't hear that part.
Ask them, honey.
Nobody heard it.
She was in another room.
Ask them.
Nobody heard it.
They can say they didn't hear it if they want to. I heard it clearly outside the door.
Girl, you are just making up stuff. Yeah, girl, you are so delusional.
On and on
girl, you are so
people,
crazy.
you know, oh, I'm the star. I'm the only relevant actress here.
If you want to be the star of this show, you are welcome to. Excuse me. Okay. Miss Rancher USA.
Yes, Miss Dusty.
Okay, well, hold on. Philly Girl 2011 says, Phaedra, your husband needs to apologize to Brandon. He was wrong. For you to sit there and ignore it is not what a Southern lady should do, despite your feelings towards Kenya. We got a lot of questions from people.
Well, they asked Apollo.
Yeah,
saying,
first of all, well, let me address that. Apollo is his own man.
Okay.
He can speak for himself.
I've spoke to Brandon for over 2 hours.
When did you speak to Brandon?
The day after that happened, maybe 2 days.
You apologized to him?
I was apologetic for what happened because it was unacceptable, because I should have never been put in that situation, nor should he. There's a lot of people, a lot of young men, a lot of young women who look up to me, and that wasn't how I should have acted, you know.
He never apologized to Brandon. He was
I apologized to Brandon.
And on about how they can make it a part 1, part 2,
no,
part 3.
What I explained to Brandon was, listen.
He talked about Phaedra having a corporation, and she pays him through the corporation, and this is her bread and butter. They talked about all kind of crazy
This is what I told Brandon.
Brandon's the one that needs to get on TV. He hadn't had an acting job since yesteryear. Chago.
Not
You haven't
yesteryear.
won a case in court in yesteryear.
And how would
too.
you know?
So,
Are
girl,
you stalking
please.
me as well, dear?
Girl, please.
Last time I checked, you were the one in the courthouse for an eviction, baby. I was going to a job.
What's the next question?
Apollo, Dana from Virginia Beach said, why did you see the need to get in between Peter and Brandon during the Pillow Talk event? Peter was doing fine blocking Christopher from Brandon. Your presence heightened the madness.
Man, Brandon got up with some real rage. You saw Peter, he got pushed back like that. So I threw my shoes on, I tried to break it up. I got hit in the eye. At the end of the day, I was just only trying to defend myself and trying to break up a situation.
I'm all for someone making a mistake and coming clean and said, you know, I used poor judgment. I apologize for that.
Well, you should be
That's
doing
the only
that
way that
because
you're
you made
able
poor
to
judgment.
move on. And as long as you take the responsibility and culpability for what you've done, you should be able to forgive and move on because that's the Christian way. You can't unteach that.
Anything you want to add about it?
I didn't think it was aggressive. Okay? You didn't